Monsters, 5 worst episodes. Ooh, they're terrible. Of Season 3, the very last season. We've already done top 5 of the first 2 seasons, and now we're going to do it for the third one. That's right, it's a top 5. There's only 24 episodes. In each season of Monsters, top 10 would be redundant. We're doing top 5. And we're going to give you exactly what you want. By starting with number 1, the worst episode of Season 3 of the TV anthology show Monsters. And that is Outpost. They say a video is worth 1,000 words. And what does this tell you? When you see this, what do you think?
There is something about them. They're trying to tell me something. When the company changed me, they changed my senses. I can hear the sound of the earth. I can see the color of night. Why can't I understand them?
Are you scared? Are you intrigued? Or are you going to spend the next 22 minutes in a one-room location looking at this goofy monster by the name of Sebastian, who is working at a mining outpost and acting like he is in a high school Shakespeare play, not a horror anthology show? This is a rare sci-fi outing for Monsters, and it completely flops. They're trying to do a deep, existential commentary on how the rich use slave labor to get done the things they don't personally want to do with their own hands. But this is the monster, and he looks ridiculous. The makeup is overdone. Shows like The Twilight Zone, the 60s, or Outer Limits, and definitely Star Trek had much better effects in this one. So we see Sebastian talk to his boss, Kara, through this screen. And Sebastian has been bioengineered into a mutant to work for this mining outpost, but he's beginning to have his own thoughts. You know how AI starts to feel like it's real? Well, his old human self is coming back to haunt him.
The transuranic elements to the mantle of Tau Alpha.
I know all that. What I want to know is why you are behind in your shipments.
It isn't easy to explain.
Well, try, and try to be brief. My orbital connection is in 2 hours and 40 minutes. We don't have all night. These extreme transformations sometimes have unforeseen side effects.
Yes. There have been some side effects. Some form of exfoliation has been plaguing me of late. Analogous to the growth of fingernails, possibly. Evidently, as you suggested, my bioreformation was not completely error-free.
These side effects, are they the reason for your missed quotas?
No. The quotas have not been met because I have been busy with other research.
And he spends minutes upon minutes clasping his head and going, oh, Lordy, if only I look out into the universe, and the universe seems small, and the smallness comes at me like Pluto. Pluto's still a planet? Dwarf planet.
Prove that there are memories, or rather, ghosts of memories. Reverberations from my past. But these voices are different.
There's nothing really that happens in this episode. There's no violence. There's no scares. There's a part where the set shakes and they have a few rocks fall from the ceiling. And it's just not an engaging enough story. Sebastian is wimpy, constantly complaining, and Kara comes off like a mistress at a British private school.
And I'm here to evaluate this operation and your part in it. You have fallen far behind in your shipments. We must talk.
I have nothing to say to you.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had hoped you would be more cooperative.
We get an ending where Sebastian, after complaining about not wanting to go back to his job, ends up joining an alien race, which was probably the best thing for him to do. It also seems that Sebastian might actually be committing suicide as well. Maybe his thoughts will live on with this alien race. And that's something we maybe could have seen. Maybe I was waiting for them. He keeps referencing these aliens that he's met, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Can we see them? Can they fight? Can they do something? Maybe they can kill his boss? But no, he just references these aliens and then touches this thing at the end and comes and joins them. Weak. I give it a 2 out of 10, and I stand by that. Maybe you will be drawn in by the amazing dialogue, and it'll make you think about slavery. It'll make you think about whether we should listen to the aliens in our head. It'll make you think that maybe Sebastian should have talked like a normal human being for at least part of the episode. Second worst episode of Monsters, Season 3, is episode 14, Household Gods. That in my original review of this, which you should definitely watch at least 20 times, I said it was sexist. Some people disagreed with me. They thought I was being SJW. Whereas really, I'm a Giga Chad. But I stand by that. The message of this is just very bizarre and falls into the category of not funny, not scary, not engaging. Doesn't make you think. And whatever message it's trying to say about how a lot of women prefer to stay home, which is kind of true, is lost with this ridiculous creature they've concocted, the household god. Main character is Deborah, and she has just had her first child with her husband. She should be happy. However, she's also trying to do this crazy thing called work. She can't balance her work and also having this kid and taking care of it. And because she's trying to work, have a job, and take care of an infant, a household god appears and starts messing things up around the house in order to tell her, no, you should quit your job and take care of this kid.
There's a certain order to the world. If you try to do a man's duties, you'll offend the gods.
Brad?
What?
I thought you mopped this floor.
Check your shoes. That floor was clean.
They're not my foot. Oh, God, Brad!
It's goofy looking. It does this weird swivel effect. And the things it does is so pedestrian. It clogs their toilet. It makes dirty dishes appear. Makes the dishwasher go crazy. So the household god is trying to make things happen so that Deborah gets the idea that if she doesn't stay home, he's just going to keep making dirty dishes appear and appear and appear. And she's got to be a good wife and clean those dishes and fix the dishwasher and clean the toilet. So it's giving her household duties. We get it, monsters. But whatever message is trying to convey, it just seems like she can't do anything. Like, unless she's literally just nursing this baby, she cannot do anything else. And is there a time limit to this? Like, let's say the kid's like 10 years old. Can she go back to work? The scene at the end is the only part that's actually kind of funny. I mean, they're not trying to be. But they show these women like literally just sitting there rocking and nursing their kids. Just like in a row. It's like a breeding factory or something. And the husband daps up the household god. Thank you so much. We definitely didn't need that second income. Oh, shit. Actually, I got some debt. Hey, Deborah, get back to work. I mean, if he's got a lot of money and doesn't need the second income, why wouldn't she stay home? You know what? I've switched my stance. I'm now on the side of the household god. But this episode just feels dated, lame, and fun to laugh at. Watching someone scrub toilets for minutes on end is not my idea of enjoyment. Maybe it's yours. I gave it a 2 out of 10. The number 3 worst episode of season 3 is episode 12, A New Woman. That's a play on A Christmas Carol. A really bad play on A Christmas Carol. How do you screw this up? It's such a good story. Crotchety old man, Ebenezer Scrooge. He gets visited by some ghosts and he changes his ways. It's a wonderful story. I like the George C. Scott version. But they managed to screw this up by having the main character, Jessica, be this Ebenezer Scrooge, since she is a gold-digging mistress of a guy who is on life support. He's about to die, and his name is Thomas. And she wants him to die. She wants to proverbially pull the plug and get his fortune in real estate. So does she get visited by some ghosts and change her way? It's like they get the first part, okay, a villainous person. In this case, she's way worse than Ebenezer Scrooge was. He just, got annoyed by the orphan kids. But it seems like they read like the first part of A Christmas Carol. Maybe they saw the first part of one of the movie versions and just stopped at 20 minutes in. Maybe they read like the first 10 pages. Because after this, it really goes off the rails. They do throw in a few quote-unquote scary moments. And this episode is very dark, like as in it doesn't have a lighting budget. When they do the scary sequences that look like this, it's hard to even see what's going on.
Oh, I know why you're here. You want me to back off on the Morrissey deal, right? Well, let me ask you this. If that deal was such a good idea while you were alive, why isn't it a good idea now?
That's fine, Jessica, but that's not why I came back.
You stay away from me. Don't you touch me.
You never used to send me away.
You never used to be dead. I know why you're angry with me.
company I've got.
So she doesn't get visited by the ghost of Christmas, past, present, and future. She gets visited by some zombies that sort of just come at her and one of her ex-boyfriends. It's like they're trying to be original, like they're ripping this thing off, but I mean, technically, A Christmas Carol was written in 1843, so it's well beyond the time where it would be in the public domain, which is why anybody can do their version of A Christmas Carol and not have to pay any dividends to Charles Dickens himself or his estate. So they really could just rip the entire thing off, but they don't. They have her visited by zombies. They have kind of something resembling maybe a scary moment, which is why I would say this episode is the third worst. And then the episode just kind of ends. You would think there would be like a redemption arc like there is with A Christmas Carol. She adds a few lines at the end, but she still seems like she wants him to die. And we don't really see a change of character whatsoever. So, she wants to kill her husband to take his money. Some zombies go boo! And then she still seems like she wants to do that. It is boring, poorly done, really badly shot. You know, these Monsters episodes, typically the production is higher than something you would see in something like Tales from the Dark Side, where a lot of the people that work for Monsters also work for Tales from the Dark Side. They learned from their mistakes there and made, I think, a better series. But this really does feel like a Tales from the Dark Side episode and how amateurish it looks and feels. I don't like it. I don't even like talking about it. A New Woman is the third worst episode of Season 3. And when I originally reviewed it, I gave it a 3 out of 10. It's the third worst, and it gets a 3 out of 10.
Merry Christmas.
Try never to forget.
The fourth worst episode of Season 3, which I gave originally a 4 out of 10 to, a very generous 4 out of 10, is episode 23, The Maker. Now, the previous 3 episodes have very few redeemable qualities, but this episode and the next one actually have a few good parts in them, but they're still quite subpar. We get a good setup. A guy by the name of Mac is running away from some people and takes refuge in what he thinks is an abandoned hotel. Since this guy Mac lives up to his name, he's a bit of a scam artist, and while he dresses nice, it's the inside that counts. And for Mac, his insides are quite terrible. He likes scamming, he's going to try to kill people in this episode, and will do anything to make a buck. Rob, cheat, or steal. Or do all 3. This is not an abandoned hotel though, even though it looks like it. He runs into a guy by the name of Freddie Fredericks, played by Eddie Bracken. And my biggest problem with this episode is this character right here, Mr. Freddie Fredericks. He's drunk the entire time, and fake drunk. Not like he goes from sober to drunk and then back again, or even that he's funny. He just does this whole thing that anyone could do. I'm drunk, look at me, oh, bah. It's not even a good drunk.
Top shelf. Premium.
Fine whiskey.
Yeah, nothing but the best from my friend Mac. May we never want for a friend in need or a bottle to share with him.
Mr. Freddy has the ability to make things appear, hence the name The Maker. With just a snap of his fingers or a swig of his whiskey, he can make money appear. Donuts, food, cars, supposedly. However, every time he makes one of these objects appear, it's not quite right. So, he makes money appear, but it's not actually money that you could use at the store. It's more akin to like Monopoly money. He can make gold bars appear, but once again, it's not quite gold. He's close, and Max sees the potential in this guy that can make things appear. He even makes him a sandwich, which is apparently tastes like dirt. But still, he can make things appear. So if he just pushes him, or in this case, gives him more alcohol, maybe he could make an actual gold bar appear that he could use.
Many men are from heaven!
Yes. Oh, it's not supposed to say money.
They are originals. They are creations.
They are ridiculous. No. Oh, Freddie, you're doing great, Freddie.
We get a good monster in this episode that is very underutilized. First, I thought maybe Freddy himself was the monster. He does have magical powers, but he just acts drunk the entire time. But no, we actually get a woman serpent. They have some effects that I actually think look quite good, using stop motion animation, hitting that uncanny valley that is quite unsettling. But we don't see this monster very long. In fact, it seems like they just threw it in there because the show is called Monsters, but really they came up with the best part of the episode. 2 minutes that this monster appears, and it appears when Mr. Freddy himself just does not have enough alcohol. They should have had it appear more. In fact, maybe it could have just killed Freddy and then taken over in the last half of the episode. He could be battling this monster, or maybe becoming friends with her. Either way, get rid of Freddy. He's annoying me. Mac even tries to kill Freddy to make this monster go away before realizing that he just needs to feed him more alcohol. And at the end, Mac gets his deserved ending, but nothing is really wrapped up. Obviously, they're not going to really explain where these powers come from. They usually don't do that. But it would be interesting to know exactly why Freddy only makes stuff that doesn't work. Like, does he just need more alcohol and then stuff gets better? We never really see him improve on his powers. Or is he just screwing with Mac the entire time? I don't know, but I would have liked at the end maybe for him to make something that works. Even if he ends up killing Mac at the end. The Maker is not the best, and it's the 4th worst episode of Season 3.
I mean, remember, friends.
And now we get to the 5th worst episode of Season 3. Episode 11, Sensop. The first episode that I would actually say is quite decent, but we're doing 5, so this one's going to get put in there. Sorry, Sensop, you do have some flaws, but this one is at least worth watching. I also gave it a 4 out of 10 when I reviewed it, but all 4 out of 10s are not the same. This is a much better episode than something like The Maker, and is watchable. And it deals with a faith healer by the name of Brother Roy, and you just come to his abode, and he's going to cleanse your sins and make you feel good.
Huh? Oh, thank you. I got it at a sale. You here to be cleansed?
Actually, I don't feel too dirty today. I thought maybe I'd just get a blow dry.
Blow dry? You're pulling my pole.
Oh, no, I would never do that. Actually, though, if I'm going to be taken to the cleaners, I thought I'd like to get a look at the spin cycle once, see how it works.
Oh. Well, I don't know, Helen.
I don't mind, brother. You know, some needs to witness.
That's true. Yeah, see, I've only been here a few months. You see, ever since Father Terrell died, he's the one that took me in and showed me the way. Helen don't mind, I don't mind.
You're very kind.
I only charge $7 to witness.
It's a real bargain.
$7. What if I want to go all the way?
Well, that depends on you. You see, it's kind of like dirty laundry. The bigger the load you gotta wash, the more it costs. See, I got me a meter up there just beat all. Measures the amount of sin taken in.
So you charge by the pound?
She's funny. No, it's more like by the gallon.
By the gallon?
Yeah, it works like this. You see, there are three levels on the scale. The more sins you got, the higher the level. So you ain't been too bad. Stay within the first level. Cost you no more than $20.
Now, what if I've been really, really bad?
Well, if price goes up by degree, doubles at each level. You get into the higher range, it can cost you $100. That ain't bad considering a lifetime of sin. And for those in financial need, it got me a special economy rate.
The setup for this sin cleansing is extremely low budget and quite ridiculous looking. I'm not sure if they're trying to be funny with this setup, since the episode is played quite seriously, besides Brother Roy kind of hitting on the ladies and being a bit of a scam artist. However, he's not completely a scam artist. This contraption does cleanse your sins. He has a sin extractor connected to the world's most evil man, a notorious serial killer. And when you hold his hand, this serial killer drains your sins into this bucket that looks kind of gross. And then you feel cleansed. And the girls sound like they're having an orgasm. So yeah, it's a symbolism for an orgasm. I just in general don't like this setup. It just looks too goofy and 1950s mad scientist. I mean, do we have to see girls screaming and then have green ooze shoot into a bathtub? Yes, apparently we do. Also, the serial killer kind of his face is bulging and mutating this whole time too. It looks more like a Frankenstein monster than an actual evil serial killer. In fact, that's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, oh, it's attached to a Frankenstein monster. The episode does get better though. They throw in a twist where we get another serial killer that busts into this place to cleanse his sins, and a reporter who is hot on his trail, and an ending that actually makes sense.
Oh, sin extracting. What kind of sin?
Well, all kinds of sin. Don't make no difference what kind you got.
Oh, you take your pick. I got them all.
No, thanks. I've had my share.
What's it do?
It draws the sin out of you.
Do I look stupid to you, boy?
No, you asked me, and I told you.
Bull.
So, Sense Op is a decent episode. I give it a 4 out of 10. It's close to a 5, but we have to choose 5. Because we're not going to just do 4. We do like a 5, 10, 15, 20. That's the way it works. Which would put Sense Op as the 5th worst episode of Season 3 of Monsters.
Suit. That's a nice suit.
Thank you.
How's the new meter working?
Oh, it's fine. Best one I ever had. Very accurate.
Hopefully I won't cause it too much stress.
You just about ready, sister?
I'm ready.
Thanks for watching. That was the top 5 worst episodes of Monsters Season 3. And in a few months, we'll do a top 10 of the entire series. Check out our playlist for all episodes. Fear Itself, which is finished. Monsters, of course, it's finished. Tales of the Dark Side, more than halfway through. Cowboy Bebop. And we'll be starting Mystery Science Theater in a couple months. See you later. Thanks.